On January 19, 1931, Carl Maxie Brashear was born on a small farm in Toinville, LaRue County, Kentucky, to McDonald and Gonzella Brashear. Growing up in poverty during an era of racial segregation, Carl dreamed of one day becoming a sailor in the United States Navy. Between 1937 and 1946, he attended Sonora Grade School in Sonora, Kentucky, where he received his early education under difficult circumstances. Despite the limited opportunities available to African American children at the time, Carl remained determined to pursue a life at sea. He developed a fascination with ships and underwater operations, inspired by stories of naval missions and courageous sailors. On February 25, 1948, at the age of 17, Carl enlisted in the United States Navy, beginning a journey that would defy expectations and break barriers. Initially assigned basic duties, he quickly earned respect through his discipline and work ethic. Fascinated by the work of Navy divers, Carl observed their training closely and began learning everything he could about diving techniques and equipment. In 1954, after years of dedication and hard work, he was accepted into the U.S. Navy Diving and Salvage School, becoming the first African American to graduate from the program. This milestone marked the beginning of a remarkable career defined by resilience, courage, and perseverance. Carl's skills as a diver quickly became evident. He was assigned to various missions where he applied the rigorous training he had received. Known for his technical expertise, calm demeanor under pressure, and ability to lead, he earned the admiration of his peers and superiors. While many African Americans faced discrimination within the military, Carl chose to let his performance speak for itself. His professionalism earned him allies, including white officers who supported his advancement. By the mid-1960s, he was working with advanced diving technologies and preparing for what would become one of the most challenging missions of his career, the recovery of a nuclear bomb lost at sea. The Cold War context made this mission urgent and highly sensitive. On January 17, 1966, a B-52G Stratofortress collided with a KC-135 refueling aircraft over Palomares, Spain, dropping 4 nuclear bombs into the Mediterranean Sea. One of these bombs sank deep into the ocean floor, requiring a complex salvage operation. Carl, serving aboard the USS Hoist, -40 Argentine pesos, was called upon to assist in the search and recovery effort. The waters near Palomares were beautiful but unforgiving. Carl and his team faced strong currents, low visibility, and unpredictable conditions. Using remotely operated vehicles and sonar mapping, they worked tirelessly to locate the bomb. After weeks of searching, they finally pinpointed its location. The retrieval process required precision and coordination. Carl was among the divers tasked with securing the bomb so it could be safely lifted to the surface. Everything seemed under control until March 23, 1966, when a steel cable snapped during the lifting attempt. A piece of the broken line struck Carl just below his right knee, causing severe injury. Despite the pain and blood loss, he remained conscious and helped stabilize the situation, preventing further damage and saving lives. Carl was immediately evacuated to Torrejon Air Base in Spain, then transferred to Wiesbaden, Germany, before arriving at the Naval Regional Medical Center in Portsmouth, Virginia. There, he faced complications such as infections and tissue necrosis. After months of unsuccessful treatments, he made the painful decision to undergo amputation below the knee. Determined to return to active duty, he embraced rehabilitation with unwavering focus. From May 1966 to March 1968, he underwent extensive physical therapy and adapted to using a prosthetic leg. In 1967, he joined Harbor Clearance Unit 2 in Newport, Rhode Island, where he trained intensively with diving equipment. By April 1968, Carl became the first amputee ever reinstated as a Navy diver, proving that physical limitations could not define his capabilities. His reintegration into the Navy was a triumph. Carl continued to serve with distinction, mentoring younger divers and breaking down racial and physical barriers. In 1970, he achieved another historic milestone, becoming the first African-American master diver in the United States Navy. As a master diver, he supervised training programs, led missions, and contributed to the development of new diving techniques. He often shared motivational phrases like, "It's not a sin to fall. It's a sin to stay down," and "I won't let anyone steal my dreams." These words resonated beyond the Navy, inspiring social movements and educational initiatives aimed at empowering young African Americans. During the 1970s, he participated in missions around the world, including rescue operations and international training exercises. In 1979, after more than 30 years of service, Carl retired from the Navy with the rank of chief of the boat. However, his commitment to public service did not end there. He continued working as a civilian employee at Norfolk Naval Station in Virginia, where he contributed for over a decade. In 1993, at the age of 62, he officially retired from federal service with the GS-11 classification, a testament to his enduring value and expertise. Even in retirement, Carl remained active as a speaker and mentor, advocating for equal opportunities and sharing his story with audiences across the country. He collaborated with veterans organizations and nonprofits, promoting inclusion and accessibility for people with disabilities. In the late 1990s, along with his sons Dwayne and Philip, he founded the Carl Brashear Foundation, dedicated to supporting youth from disadvantaged backgrounds and helping them pursue careers in military, maritime, and technical fields. Carl's personal inspiration extended beyond the Navy and into broader society. He became a sought-after speaker at schools, universities, and community centers, where he shared his journey with young people facing similar struggles. His speeches were marked by humility and realism. He never downplayed the racial or physical barriers he had faced, but instead used them as lessons on perseverance. He often spoke about the importance of education, hard work, and self-belief, encouraging youth to chase their dreams despite adversity. Veterans, military personnel, and marginalized communities all saw him as a symbol of resilience and leadership. He wrote articles, appeared on television and radio programs, and worked with organizations promoting inclusion in the workforce for people with disabilities. In the mid-1990s, Carl formalized part of his legacy by co-founding the Carl Brashear Foundation with his sons Dwayne and Philip. The foundation aimed to support underprivileged youth pursuing careers in military, maritime, and technical fields. It also provided mentorship, scholarships, and psychological support to veterans and individuals with disabilities, offering workshops and training sessions focused on reintegration into society and the job market. Even in his 60s, Carl remained actively involved in the foundation's activities, visiting schools, participating in panels, and recording motivational videos that were widely shared online. Throughout his life, Carl received numerous honors and awards from both military and civilian institutions. Among the most prestigious was the title of Honorary Master Diver, granted by the U.S. Navy in recognition of his lasting impact on the diving community. He was awarded the Meritorious Service Medal for exceptional service in high-responsibility roles and the Navy Commendation Medal for heroic actions during critical missions. Civilian institutions honored him with honorary degrees and advisory positions, including a role on the National Youth Council under the Department of Defense. Streets, parks, and community centers across the United States were named after him, and in Portsmouth, Virginia, a public school was renamed Carl M. Brashear Elementary School in his honor. A monument was erected at the entrance of the U.S. Navy Diving and Salvage School in Panama City, Florida, marking his place in its history. His story was told in books, documentaries, and the 2000 Hollywood film Men of Honor, starring Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro. Although the film took some creative liberties, it brought international attention to his life, inspiring millions with its message of perseverance. Carl himself participated in the creative process, helping shape characters and reviewing scripts to ensure the essence of his story was preserved. Despite the film's success, Carl remained humble, emphasizing that the real reward was knowing his life could serve as an example to others. Toward the end of his life, he often said that the greatest recognition wasn't medals or titles, but knowing he had made a difference in someone's life. In the early 2000s, Carl began facing serious health complications due to cardiovascular issues and recurring infections linked to his earlier injuries. Despite declining physical strength, he maintained a sharp mind and continued giving talks and attending events related to his foundation. On July 25, 2006, Carl Maxie Brashear passed away in Portsmouth, Virginia, surrounded by family and close friends. His funeral was held with full military honors, including rifle salutes, the presentation of the American flag, and a moving ceremony attended by veterans, officials, and admirers. Many remembered his famous quote, "It's not a sin to fall, it's a sin to stay down," which became a guiding principle for generations to come. His grave at Hampton National Cemetery in Hampton, Virginia, became a frequent site of visitation for those wishing to pay tribute to a true American hero. Following his death, numerous institutions established programs in his name, including scholarships, annual awards, and sports competitions for youth with disabilities. His sons Dwayne and Philip took over the management of the Carl Brashear Foundation, expanding its reach and continuing the mission of preparing new generations for success. Today, Carl's name appears in textbooks, naval museums, and even on ships dedicated to remembering great figures of the U.S. Navy. His legacy transcended borders and cultures, being referenced in international conferences on diversity, inclusion, and leadership in high-pressure environments. Carl Brashear left behind an immense legacy, not only for what he achieved, but for what he represented. Proof that with courage, discipline, and faith, anything is possible. His story continues to touch hearts and influence lives decades after his passing, thanks to the authentic, honest, and courageous way he lived every moment. Whether in the armed forces, education, medicine, or sports, his journey has been used as a teaching tool in courses, trainings, and discussions on resilience, diversity, and human values. Military academies study his biography as part of leadership and ethics curricula. Medical institutions reference his case in rehabilitation studies, highlighting successful adaptation following traumatic amputation. Sports coaches and mentors cite Carl as a source of inspiration for athletes with disabilities, praising his ability to return to a demanding career after losing mobility. Non-governmental organizations working with racial and social inclusion have adopted his image and quotes as symbols of modern human rights movements. Many young people who grew up hearing about Carl chose to pursue careers in the Navy, underwater engineering, medicine, or technical fields, inspired by his determination. Artists, writers, and filmmakers continue to draw from his life, producing content that revisits his story from new perspectives, keeping it alive in popular culture. Children's books and comics based on his life have been published in multiple languages, allowing kids around the world to learn from his lessons early on. Universities and research centers continue to study his trajectory, analyzing the psychological, social, and organizational impacts of his rise within a historically hostile environment. Events and academic conferences have included topics related to his life in discussions about corporate diversity, inclusive leadership, and cultural transformation in traditional institutions. His example serves as a constant reminder that real change can come from individuals who are unafraid to challenge oppressive systems with dignity, intelligence, and courage. Therefore, Carl Brashear is not just a historical figure. He is a living inspiration, proof that when one believes in themselves and stays true to their values, nothing is impossible. And so, his story continues to echo like waves on the sea he loved so much, touching lives and shaping destinies far beyond his time. Just like Carl Brashear, each of us possesses the inner strength to face life's challenges. All we need is to believe in our own potential and keep our eyes fixed on the horizon. His story is not merely a page in American military history. It is a universal message of hope, courage, and determination, relevant to everyone, anywhere in the world. If you're watching this video and something inside you resonated with his journey, perhaps it's because his story touched a part of your own. How many of us have given up on a dream because we believed we weren't capable? How many allowed criticism, prejudice, or fear to define our future? Carl teaches us that the only thing that truly matters is what we do after falling. Getting back up, dusting ourselves off, and moving forward is the real victory. So, if you're going through a difficult moment, remember, you have within you the same strength that drove this extraordinary man. And if this story inspired you in any way, please don't forget to like this video, because with your support, we can continue bringing powerful stories like this to more people around the world. Also, Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon to receive notifications about new videos, ensuring you never miss another incredible story like this one. Share this content with someone who needs motivation, or with someone who believes that destiny does not define who we are, but rather the choices we make. Stories like Carl Brashear's deserve to be remembered, celebrated, and shared, because they remind us that, even in the face of adversity, it is possible to shine. If you enjoyed the script, leave a comment below telling us which part of the story impacted you the most. Your response might inspire other viewers to reflect on their own journeys. You can also watch other videos on this channel, exploring more biographies, achievements, and historical moments that changed the world and how we see life. This was another episode of our channel, where real stories come to life and teach us that with courage and persistence, anyone can make a difference. Thank you once again for watching until the end. May the strength, faith, and determination of Carl Brashear inspire you to chase your dreams with courage and integrity. Until next time, and remember, it's not a sin to fall, it's a sin to stay down.